Alright, you're gonna have to bear with me today as I use a new camera. Well, not a new camera. I've had this camera for a while. I just haven't used it because I've gotten used to the other one I was using. So we're gonna try this one today. But it is cold here, as you can tell. It's like, I don't know, 30 degrees. I was in around 27 this morning when I came out and milked Miss Annabelle. But I have the day off today, so I decided I need to get ready for winter. And what that is going to entail today is getting cords ready and getting a heater underneath the chicken water. And out at the barn, I have a small green tub. I think it holds about 30 gallons. And it has a heater coil in the bottom of it. I used it last year. We bought it. It is a lifesaver and it's wonderful. So I'm gonna get that hooked up too. I don't think it's gonna get cold enough to freeze it, but we are getting a little bit of ice on top, and it's just gonna get me ready, and that way I won't get caught unprepared, hopefully. Now the other thing I'm going to share with you today too is I'm going to attempt, after I get all that done, I'm going to try to get some of these. There is a manure pile way right there. And the goal is to get these raised rows kind of covered up, get some manure on them, cover them up, and get them ready for the spring. So my plan this year is to do a little bit better in getting my garden ready for spring. I want to go ahead and get some stuff on the soil, and I should have worn gloves because it's a little chilly out here. But I want to get amend the soil with what I have. I have manure from the cow, and that we can overwinter in these raised rows, and then in the spring my soil will be ready, and as soon as it's warm enough to get stuff in the ground, I can go ahead and do that. I won't have to worry about it. Now some of these raised beds over here, if you saw in my video, then you saw that I already did some of those, and I had already put manure on a couple of them at the beginning of this year, and I didn't plant root crops in there for that reason. So now I've put leaves over the top of them, put cardboard down, and then put fence posts on it to hold that cardboard down. And so 3 of those beds are ready. I've got a couple more that I need to do and get ready as well, but that is the plan today, as long as I don't get too cold. Alright, so I have this short cord, so we're gonna go right around here into the greenhouse and get the other cord that is in here. I try to keep all of my stuff together so that way I know where it's at. I kind of hide it so nobody gets a hold of it. You know, because sometimes things seem to disappear. So I don't want that. If I've bought cords for a specific reason, that's what I want them for. I have like 3 100-foot cords out in the barn because our barn does not have power, and it's about 250 feet from the house or so. So I wanted to have plenty of cord, and these are like heavy duty outdoor cords, so they were kind of expensive, so I kind of hide them and I make sure they get put back if anybody uses them for any reason. So, but the water heater for the chicken is down here. I keep it in my greenhouse so I know where it's at. My greenhouse really needs to be cleaned. I'll show you why. I've got some cardboard over here, you can see. I really need to clean that up and get that out of here. But there is, let's see, I've got fish fertilizer. What else do I have down here? Bone meal. More bone meal. I bought this for amendments this year. And here is my cord. Now this cord I think is 50 feet. And I think it's 50 feet. And it didn't reach quite all the way, so I ended up having to buy a 25-foot cord, which is the other one that you saw. I save everything. This is like deer netting that I have, that I put over my little hoop houses that go over my beds. Okay, so here is the chicken water. This is a heated base. Now, as far as I know, you can only use this one with the metal chicken water that we have, which we're probably going to need a new one. I need to look at those. We've had, these are the waterers, chicken waters that we have had for ever since we had chickens, I'm pretty sure, so a few years. One of them is in here because it's no good. It has actually rusted through. So I do need to probably look at getting another one, or they do make the plastic waters that actually are heated. You just plug in. So that could be an option as well. Which is something I may have to do for the ones that are not in the coop, the extra roosters. But anyways, for now, let's go get this done. Now, unfortunately, we do not have any outside receptacles on the back of the house, which is something we probably need to change. So I have a cord going in one door, and I'll have another cord going in our laundry room door as well. My husband has fixed everything to where we can shut the doors, so it's not a big deal. They can be sealed. But so let's go get the small cord and we'll get it hooked up. Alright, so here's the heater and the small cord. I've got a cinder block in there. We're going to get that set down on that. Alright, my battery is going low. So there is a cinder block in here. This is our water, the metal water that we have. But this doesn't need to sit in like the wood chips and everything, so I do set it up on the cinder block, and then I set the base or the water on it, and I do have a hook that kind of holds it up so they won't knock it off, because they are known to do that. Okay, that's gonna do for now. I just covered that up a little bit with that other piece of a cinder block. And I plan on getting some extension cord connection covers. I don't know if that's what they're called. But, so that's in here, and I'll get this back on here. Alright, that is set up. I've got the cord in the corner, kind of where there's a little bit of space. So let's go get those other two hooked up, and then I'm going to probably have to get an... Okay, so I forgot... I bought a bunch of plants at Rural King. I don't know, it's like a month or so ago. They were 25 cents a piece. They were basically going to throw all of them away in the dumpster that evening. I wish I would have had a truck, because I probably would have got every single thing they had. But I did get a bunch of plants. I bought like 20 plants. I got a couple hibiscus. I got some daisies, some echinacea, and I cannot remember what all I got. So that's the reason why I made a little map of my garden, and I marked everywhere that I planted it, and I put the tags and everything, because I have a horrible time remembering what the plant is and where I put it. So I do have 5 hostas that I need to plant, and then we need to go ahead and do that before it gets really, really cold, because they're going to go dormant and I want them in the ground. Okay, so what I have is I call holding trees, holding plant areas. One of our cedar trees just has a bunch of flowers and things around it, and it is my holding area. So whenever I get something, I will plant it there if I don't know where I'm going to put it, and leave it there until I move it somewhere else. A lot of times if I split things, that's what I'll do with them until I decide where I want to put them. If people give me flowers, or if I get flowers from my mother's house, I will usually, if I don't know exactly where I'm going to put them, that's where they go. So that's kind of full. So this is another cedar tree. I have irises from my grandmother's on one side, kind of in holding area for now. And then on this other side, there are some that are still here, but most of this is weeds. So I am going to, hey Chinchi, I am going to just put those here. Now one of the reasons anyways why I got these hostas is because most of my hostas that I have are just a light green color. They're not variegated. I have maybe a couple. These are really pretty. These are some of these are dark green with almost like a white stripe in them, and so I'm really excited to get these, because if you have hostas, once you have them, You let them grow and you can split them off and you can, you know, move them other places. I love hostas because they're very little care to them, and they're just, yeah, any flower that will come back and I don't have to take care of a whole lot is wonderful, because that means it will survive. So let's get these in the ground here. It looks like I have some help today. All right, number one is a Hosta Karin. These are the labels that I will take off and put them in my notebook, so I know what kind of hostas I have. I'm probably not going to know exactly where these are each time, but at least I'll know what they are. All right, go on, Shinji. Move. Get out of the way. This is a Hosta Minuteman. This is one of the ones that's dark green with like a white on the outside. This is one I was really excited to find. Move it, Shinji. Hopefully you don't come out here and dig all my plants up, right? I think I almost need to mark these because that one does not have anything sticking up. Well, maybe that'll work. All right, this one is a Hosta Dream Queen. So this one's kind of variegated green and yellow. Let's see if I can put these in order. First, second, going around the tree. Alright, another Hosta Minuteman. And then this last one is one of those Dream Queens that is yellow and green. So that didn't take very long. Got those 5 hostas planted. Hopefully I will put them in the right order, and I will draw them hopefully in the right order in my notebook. I really need to check out the other tree too and kind of figure out what I have. Some of the plants I've totally forgot what the name of them are. I'll probably have to get my plant app on my phone out and add it to my garden. So let's continue with what we were supposed to be doing out here anyways, is getting the extension cords to the barn ready. Alright, we are out here with the barn, and luckily all 3 of them are out here. 2 of them are still wound up. The other one is actually attached to the generator, which I will have to not use. I haven't been using, I've been using a light if I come out here before daylight. I've actually been using a headlamp, and that works really well. Look at there. That's funny. Look what I found. I have chickens that decided that this is their coop again. They used to be out here, and we got them out when we had the wedding here, and I had netting over it so they couldn't get out of their area over by the garden. But the rooster and one of the hens, actually a couple of the hens, have decided they like it better out here, I guess. And the dog keeps getting eggs from somewhere, so there must be eggs in the barn. I don't know where, because I looked earlier and couldn't find them, but there's this one. I'm gonna go give this one to our livestock guardian dog though, because I don't think it'll make it inside in my pocket. All right, drop the egg off with Miss Hattie, and I got the cord unhooked from the lights here in the barn. So I think I'm just going to take this cord that's already loose and hook it up right outside. kind of a mess. 100-foot long cords. You come on with me and you can probably meet Miss Annabelle again. I'm pretty sure she's still out there. And I'm sure you'll see Frodo and Reese, our 2 weather goats, and maybe even Hattie and some cats. I don't know, we'll see. But let's go ahead and let's go take this out there. Come on with me. All right, we made it out here to the out to the water trough, and everybody's out here because, you know, I'm here and they think I'm gonna feed them. But this here is, you can see the water, the green water tub. It's about, I think it's a 30-gallon, and it has an element in the bottom of it that's protected. Of course, they can't get to that. And I've had it out here for a little while because she doesn't like to drink out of the big trough. She likes to drink out of these, the small bucket. And so Hattie can't drink out of the big trough, so I had to put something out here for Miss Annabelle, and so Hattie could still drink as well. So I make sure that these 2 are filled up every morning, and I can tell she's already drank quite a bit out of the blue bucket instead of the green bucket. So let's go ahead, we're gonna get this hooked up and get it all the way to the house. That way I am not caught unprepared, because the temperatures are getting down into the 20s at night, which isn't a big deal right now. But I just want to make sure that I don't get a thick ice on it whenever the temperatures really go down. And this way I'm maybe ahead of the game, we'll see. But these are super easy to use. Just have to make sure the plug is clean, unlike this one. Needs a little bit of cleaning. Maybe take my glove off a little bit. Cobwebs in there. All right. So we usually loop these kind of to where they look like they're tied, just so they won't actually get pulled open, because that is a possibility. But you don't want it to be super tight. You don't want to pull it real tight, because the electricity does move in that current. So we're just going to kind of do that there, and I will probably zip tie that so that will stay there and cover that up. It's gonna have to go right there for now. Hey, Miss Hattie, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing, Miss Hattie? I don't have any food for you. Okay, let's go get the other cords and we'll continue back to the house. All right, I will say one thing about these cords. You don't want to carry them too far because they're pretty heavy. So let's get them. Let's get going. All right, now that we got that done, I went ahead and hooked up the hose and turned it on, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the trough and get everything filled up, and then it's gonna be time to start draining the water out of the line. So I am gonna go ahead and probably do that. I need to kind of look ahead at the weather. As long as it warms up of a day and the sun gets on it and it doesn't hard freeze for a long time, we're okay. But I don't really want to be carrying buckets of water out here. We don't have a spigot out here, just like we don't have electricity out here. So we have about 250 to 300 foot of hose that comes from our spigot at our house. We only have the one spigot. So it comes out here. I have this draped over so I can just turn it on and it goes right into the trough. Now that's gonna change here before too much longer, of course, because the water in the hose will freeze. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled up. Probably fill up the other two buckets as well. That way they're good and ready. And then I will probably just leave this. I was gonna go ahead and drain it out, but I don't think we're at the time there it's necessary because it is still warming up of the day and it's not freezing all the way. So we'll just let this fill up, and we're gonna go ahead and go get some manure moved and maybe get some stuff done in the garden. One of the things I have to do whenever I turn the water on is I set a timer on my phone or in the house if I'm going to be in the house for about 10 or 15 minutes because otherwise I forget that it's on. and I've done that before, and it's ran all day. So that's never good. But we're gonna grab this thing of manure here. It's not completely full, but it's got quite a bit in it. So I figure we'll just go ahead and take it to the garden and add it to some of the rows and go ahead and get some of that done. I don't have any black plastic, but I really should probably, I don't know. She's thinking I'm gonna feed her. I don't have any black plastic, but since we don't have the caterpillar tunnel up, it just has ribs right now. I do have some fabric that I could put down on the rows, so I may do that. But I do need some stakes, so that needs to go on my list. Just some garden stakes to hold those down. Garden staples, I think is what they're called, if people are still selling them. So that would be something I should probably get today, so I could go ahead and finish that this week while I have the extra time. But let's get this over there. Alright, so I got some of that dumped here on this first row. I'll just spread that out with my rake and hope that that works. Timer's going off. Okay, change of plans. Well, maybe not change of plans, but I definitely will not be just dumping a pile of manure in one spot. That is kind of hard to move around. So next time I'll just bring the wheelbarrow and just dump a little bit down each row. So that's about as far as I've gotten right now. This may have a lot on it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of these beds, like this one here. I'm gonna clean up and get the marigolds out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the asparagus over here. And then I can get some leaves, cover the asparagus bed. That bed back there needs to be winterized. So does this one and a couple of the smaller ones as well. I do have some herbs in these, but I need to probably pull them up, either bring them inside, plant them in there, or just cover them up and leave them. All right, change of camera, ran out of battery, and the other battery's charging. So here we go. This is the asparagus bed. I'm going to go ahead and trim these and get this mulched with leaves. It actually needs more dirt in it. But I guess I will do that in the spring. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look that up, and I may end up putting some dirt on top of it, even if I have the leaves on there. I think that will be fine. And then this bed here needs to be ready for winter. I'm gonna add some leaves to it and some cardboard. I'm not sure about this one. This one does have thyme in it. And it looks like some cilantro. And then this one has my horseradish. I need to look up and see what to do with that. I have some sweet marjoram out here as well. So just need to look up those and see what I need to do with that. But let's go ahead and get this cut. So we can go ahead and get it mulched and get these two beds kind of ready for winter. I don't know, but I'm warming up a little bit. The sun is trying to peek through, and I have on like multiple layers because it was cold this morning. So this jacket may end up coming off. Whoops. Let's see if we can get you up here. There we go. Hello, Chinchi. Chinchi knocked you over. Okay, got that done. Had to get new snips. I wonder if I could just snip these up. Okay, he's hilarious. Let me see if I can get him before he takes off. He's literally playing. What are you doing? He's playing in the cuttings. This is our little kitty cat that showed up one day and adopted us. Didn't you? Yeah. He is super friendly. So I'm sure he came from somewhere. We think there was a lady down the road that might have passed away that had a bunch of cats, and maybe they just dispersed. And because he tries to get in the house, he's very friendly. He plays with the dogs. I mean, he's just adopted us. But our daughter named him Chinchi. No idea what that means. And or if it just sounded good, but he's funny. He likes to get all up in what you're doing. So I think I may try to chop these up and just lay them down as mulch. I don't know. Just trying to think of a way to reuse. Either that or I'll just throw it in the chicken coop. I guess I could do that. Throw it over there for the chickens to do with whatever they want to do. And then I could put leaves on here. Maybe I should do that. I'll probably do that. All right, so I have this nifty little leaf blower mulcher that I bought a few years ago, and I have been using it to mulch leaves. Now, some of these leaves I put on here have not been because I was lazy and didn't want to get this out. But today I decided to go ahead and get it out. It does mulch leaves up smaller, and then I can just open this bag and put them on the bed. All right, I think a couple bags for each bed will work pretty good. Let's go get some more leaves. I have caught him in there twice. Little stinker. He will not stay out of the greenhouse. And I've come back out here and he's been shut in there 2 times. Okay, I come out here to give you progress. I've got sidetracked a few times. Once by rose hips, once by lunch, once by helping our youngest with math. But I did get what I wanted done, and a little bit extra, and I'm going to show you what I got done. All right, so I started with just those 2, but I actually got all of the raised beds except for this one, and only because I have something in it which probably just needs to be mulched. But there's a tiny little kohlrabi. Probably just take that in and eat it. These aren't really going to grow, I'm thinking. It's not warm enough. I should have planted these out a lot sooner. But I did get all these beds mulched with leaves, so I'm happy about that. He is so mischievous. I didn't get as much done on these as I wanted, but I did get the manure moved. I will not do it that way again. I think I'm going to look online and see if I want to get maybe like a small tiller, just a little rototiller or something. We have a big tiller and like a self-propelled tiller that doesn't work right now, and then we have like a 4-foot blade tiller on the back of the tractor. But I don't want to use that in here because I have my raised rows. So the other place that I went ahead and mulched, because I had so many leaves, I mulched this bed here that I just put all these new plants in, or mostly new, from Rural King that I got for 25 cents. This is my little garlic area. I leave some garlic in there and it comes back. And these are my roses from my grandmother's house, and I mulched that as well with leaves. So all in all, today went pretty good. It's a little chilly right now, but those extension cords that I put out came in really handy because the one that goes to the chicken coop I actually used with my leaf blower mulcher, and that was great. So I got that done. Oh yeah, and I even mulched my herb bed up here by the house, so you can see it. I vacuumed all the leaves out of here, and then I mulched it down. I've got my lavender here, my rosemary that lived last year, so I'm hoping it does again. And I'm thinking I want to do something with the chives before they get before the frost or the heavy freeze kills them. I think I can probably make either a pesto or dry them, and then I just did all this here. That is an echinacea I bought on clearance one year. I cut it off and now it has come back out. This is, these little white flowers are Asilium maybe? I can't remember. But I actually pulled those, and they must have put down seeds because they're everywhere. But they're cute little, they're tiny, very small. But if you plant enough of them, they're really cute, and they're more of like a, I'm gonna say a ground cover because they're really close to the ground and they're very tiny. But they do better planted there than whenever I started the seed and then planted them, got a little leggy, but this worked out well. So I may just spread the seed in an area and let it do its thing. But so I got the hostas planted and all that good stuff. I'm headed in, and I've got dinner in the crock pot. We're gonna have white chicken chili, so that is going to taste really good on this cool evening. But I'm headed inside. That is it. Putting the raised beds to bed for winter, and starting on the raised rows. But hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel and you can see what we're going to be doing through the rest of the winter, and maybe what crazy projects I am going to talk my husband into doing. So anyways, don't forget to be lovely lights today.